Due to exceptionally busy times, both at home and at work, my YouTube work has been challenging to get done. I am still fine, as is my family, just busy. Rest assured, as things settle back down, video frequency will go back up. I am also still committed to putting out videos on dev blogs when the new patch season really starts. Thank you for joining me today. Good evening and welcome to War Thunder. This is Old Dead Man. We're looking at a couple of not dev blogs. We're looking at a couple of patch notes. Unlike previously when they were doing BR changes in larger patch notes, for some reason Gaijin this month decided they were going to do a bunch of little changes spread out throughout the various patches. Although I will point out, for those who complain that Gaijin does not fix bugs in the game with vehicles and things like that, pay close attention to all the patch notes from this month. Some of them have been extensive about how they have made various changes and fixes to vehicles, and doggone it, they're working on it. There's plenty of other things you can criticize them for this month, but this month you can't criticize them about patching vehicles. You might say your favorite vehicle hasn't gotten its patch, but that's just, your priority, not necessarily the game's priorities. Alright, so real quick here, let's run through things here. The DO17E1 is going to from BR 1.3 to 1.0. This makes perfect sense. The DO17E1 isn't particularly exciting or even a particularly amazing plane. Let's see if I can go find it real fast. It should be right over here. Not a particularly impressive plane. Its bombs are tiny. It can't take out a base. It would be better used as a ground attacker in most cases, although good luck killing anything like a pillbox with those 50s on a regular basis and consistently. So dropping its BR makes perfect sense. It's just not that well equipped of an airplane compared to anything else, even at this BR. That said, it does have one 30 caliber machine gun on the front end and a bunch of turrets. So, maybe you can gunship with it if you're, feeling your oats that day. I don't generally play a whole lot of low BR stuff like this anymore, but, hey, it is what it is. Alright, next one up is the American TBF-1C. TBF-1C went from 2.7 to 2.3, not terribly surprising. TBF-1C is not a dive bomber. It's a level bomber or torpedo bomber. And it's slow. It's the bomb loads decent for the vehicle, but it's slow. It's not exactly maneuverable. I like it, but it's nothing. There's nothing special about it. So that's why it's moved down. B-29's gone from 6.3 to 6.7, which would make perfect sense if they also reduced its repair cost. But at a 55,220 Silver Lion maximum repair cost, it doesn't matter what BR you put it at, it's not making money on a regular basis for most players, which means that most players don't play it. I played mine long enough to spade it, literally. And I did most of that in Sim, to be honest, because that was about the only place where you could both make money and not pay huge repair costs on a regular basis. So, B-29, yeah, totally understandable. But only if they'd reduced the repair cost. They really haven't done that. In fact, they bumped all the repair costs that they reduced back up again, and it's really going to make this even less profitable of a plane. The German HE-177 is going from 5.3 to 5.7. The HE-177 is an excellent vehicle, especially at the BR. Its repair cost, as I recall, is also absurd. Yep, 43,050. I don't even have mine spaded yet. I'm still sitting at 43,050 repair costs, and I've still got quite a few upgrades to go. This, again, you can make the case that it's a good plane, but if they're doing repair costs basically, if they've got a repair cost over 20,000, they've already shot themselves in the foot. People that the people that would normally play it, that would bring down the stats and average it out, can't afford to play it. I will probably play mine till it's spaded, and then it's done. I don't have any reason to bring that plane in again. And I'm certain that is what Gaijin's intent is. They want to prevent people from playing these particular vehicles, or they wouldn't be doing this. The HE-177. Switch over to it so you can see which one I'm talking about here. There we go, the HE-177. And these are the modifications I have left to go on it. And it's still not full up, and still has a 43,050 Silver Lion repair cost. That's just too hot. Alright, next one up is the TU4 from 7.7 to 8.0. I don't believe I even have the TU4 yet. Again, now let me see, what's its, I wonder what its repair cost is right now. 36,000 stock. Again, same problem, amplified. TU4 regularly goes up against jets. I mean, at 8.0, it's going to go up against even more jets, including jets with air-to-air missiles. That said, the early air-to-air missiles do have trouble locking on to the propeller-based aircraft, and I've been well within gun range before I've been able to put an AIM-9B up the tailpipe of one of these. So you're within their 23mm range, and they're nasty with the 23mm. That said, any intelligent jet player should have no problems at all taking down a TU2 from above or below, and not just hanging around on its tail, loading it full of bullets. So it's going up to 8.0. If they bring down the repair cost to match, I'd be a lot happier with that. Let's see, that's just over here. TU4, for those who want to make sure they know which one I'm talking about. Russian heavy bomber there. Let's go take a look at the next one down the list. The F-89D from 7.3 to 7.7. This surprises me exactly 0%. F-89D has actually been, as I recall, it's the one with all the rockets. And people are having way too much fun with this thing at 7.3. The FFARs are good against ground targets, and with this many of them, you can lead a target with salvo after salvo, and you can take it down. So zero surprise that this one's moving up a BR step, and I'm surprised it's actually even staying at 7.7, to be honest. M60 AMBT. Oh, by the way, I keep forgetting to hit the flip switch here. Let's go hit the... This is the F-89D, American premium aircraft here, jet fighter. Now let's go ahead and look at the M60 AMBT. This is, of course, the one that came from the recent World War Mode prize vehicle. And it's moving from 10.0 to 9.7, which it has already done. Really no surprise. The M60 is... What's the word I'm looking for? Well, okay. It's not known for its strong capabilities against modern MBTs. This is basically just the poor man's MBT in that regard. It's a good vehicle from everything I've seen. It actually does pretty well, but it is definitely no Abrams and definitely no 2A5 or T80U. It's interesting. It looks like it looks like it's fun, and I think the 25mm cannon is probably being used to good effect. But again, not on the same tier as the top tier stuff. So it's no surprise to see it move down to 9.7. The other one from a different patch notes is the IL-2 M82. And it moved, I believe it was at 3.0. They moved it down to 2.7. Not a real surprise here. Again, all of these make perfect sense in the regards of what they are. So this one dropping down with the underpowered engine compared to the regular model, zero surprise at all, and really expected. And that really kind of sums up the BR changes out of it. Gaijin seems to have really changed up how they're doing, rather than saving the changes and the tweaks for a larger patch. For instance, they put out Regia Marina as a minor major patch, I guess you might say, where they actually turned Italian naval over for general use. And what that means is that it's a lot harder to actually get newsworthy enough posts together. A lot of these changes are interesting. If you go through the month's worth of patch notes, there's a lot of interesting changes in there, a lot of useful changes, but they are not exactly ones that are video newsworthy. Um, Unlike some people might go ahead and put a video out for every patch or things like that. I would put this more in 2 and 900's War Thunder Weekly News type category. He'd be a great one to cover this type of information, these changes and things like that, and sometimes he does. So, keep that in mind. It's just while the package comes up to an interesting set, the individual ones do not. So I've kind of had some challenges deciding to go ahead and cover these smaller mini patches, and I don't know where I'm going to end up standing on that particular deal. But these were the important changes. I thought the BR changes in the middle there. They've changed sound. They've changed vehicle parameters, fixed bugs and problems. The World War mode. They to a certain extent, I think they had to. They had to put out these bug patches visibly because of how badly World War mode started off, with that entire debacle in the first several days where it crashed the servers, took everything down, caused problems galore, and it really clearly indicated that they were not fully prepared for World War mode this time. And I'm hoping that means that they've taken those lessons to heart, and they're both going to be more open and more forthright about patch changes. And they will also be maybe provide a little more lead time on these things, like these types of events. If they prepare the event and put it up there for a practice session for about 2 days before, where you still get silver lines, you still get research points, but it isn't part of the actual World War mode event, 2 days in advance would give you enough time to see, oh my, this isn't working, that's not working, this isn't balanced. And then maybe get those patches in when they're ready to actually make it into the competitive environment it was. It was definitely what's the word I'm looking for? It definitely reduced the excitement for World War mode when the first 3-4 days were all just a debacle in a row. So hopefully this means that they've learned something new. I know that some people right now are laughing their heads off at the idea of Gaijin learning something new about this, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt in as much as we can. They've got plenty of things that really need high priority changes, like map balancing. To be honest, I think all the vehicles, if they left the vehicles alone except for fixes like they were doing, didn't add new vehicles for a couple of months, and just worked on better, awesome maps, that would really help. And in addition, look for better, awesome game modes. I think World War mode as a whole package is very popular. I think that the EC mode air and EC mode for ground, essentially, that's not just sim, which by the way, sim is not EC style for ground either, but an EC type of mode for ground would be interesting. And I think that that would be some of the gameplay differences that we could really see. I have zero insight into what Gaijin is planning for the future. I have zero information on what the next major patch is going to be. But I can say that I am delighted that that this month's patch notes have been really showcasing that they have been finding, fixing bugs, and getting things done. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.